Hey guys, welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Since last time, the judge just asked Jake MarShall to tell the truth. Let's go. Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. Sounds like he has a grudge against Edgeworth too. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? What does that mean? Officer MarShall, tell the court what you did, all of it. Alright, it seems the time has come. Oof. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I saw the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I was inspecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. And it makes sense, a lot of it. So, the supposed victim was really you? But there's one thing I still don't understand. Large quantities of blood traces were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It looks like too much blood for that. Yeah, the floor was ridiculous. And someone was wearing a glove, though, and it wasn't him. Unless he took the gloves off, I don't know. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I assume the SL9 incident? When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years ago had passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with a transfer that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. But what did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only the detective who was in charge of it can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the clock costs, I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer MarShall was in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. Press. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? Yeah, of all people, it could have been like anyone. Huh? If I did make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So he did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card. I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filing out the lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer MarShall. Wait, he left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office? How did he get there? Or maybe, I guess, he didn't even have his thing at the time, his ID. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint activated a lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Normally, that locker shouldn't have opened. So it opened because a rubber glove was stuck in the door by chance. Then Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer MarShall. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out. Oh. We need to press that. We needed to discuss how Meekins was knocked out and in what fashion, because it's hilarious. They put a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID? I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Yeah, he has so much power. Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way, with me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. He's just using it. So what happened next? managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught. So, you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloody your coat and your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekins doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is, on that day,
there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. But the blood found in the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty? Someone else stole the evidence. Officer MarShall, may I ask you one thing? Far away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Sounds pretty serious though. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
I can't just forget the SL9 incident, you know why? No, why? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for those crimes. One thing I can say for sure, he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one would talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better take another look at the files. Everyone but me is related to that case. Oh, this is crazy. What if I'm related to that case out of nowhere? It's like, what? That'd be crazy. I do that day. I couldn't just sit by and let it die. Did I press this? Oh crap. Do you even have to ask, partner? Oh, I'm stupid. That's the first sentence. When a case is closed... I don't care what anyone says, partner. This case is mine. I stole the detective's ID. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. Should we present the SL9 stuff? Can I even look at it? I didn't even look at it. Incident number SL9. Criminal Joe Dark. Crime serial death. Victims. Jason Knight, Edward Jones, Edith Kirby, Jeb Bates, Rachel Moss, Neil Marshall, Jake Marshall. Is that like his dad or something? Miles, Lana, witnesses, Lana Sky and Emma Sky. Neil Marshall. Whoa, this is weird. Executive investigators, Damon Gantlin. Head investigator, Bruce Goodman. Investigators, Jake Marshall, Angel Star. Wow, there's a lot of people on this case. This is nuts. Let me see if there's a better place to present this. I think this is it. I think his dad died or something. I saw the detective, wait, 2 years ago. It's either his dad or his brother or something. Someone related to him. Because he seems like not like Angel Star, who just lost his job. He wouldn't care about that. And managed to escape. I knew which areas would be caught on camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room 515. I can't just forget the SL9 incident, you know why? I know why. Maybe this is this better, because he asks, you know why? Then I'm like, yeah, I know why. Boom, this is why. Officer MarShall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name MarShall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil MarShall, are you related to this man? Neil MarShall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that name. 2 years ago. Oh, don't show photos like that, that's sad. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember, Prosecutor Neil MarShall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right, he was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. You seem more tan than your brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gann, chief detective at the time. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Oh my gosh, he looks like a super serial killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. Oh, that sucks that his brother died. It's kind of like he died to get this guy arrested almost. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day of the SL9 case could be opened. Not satisfied with this resolution, Officer MarShall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was a real one. Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. Oof, but wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. No one gets the draw on me. All the mysteries at the police department have been uncovered. No contradictions remain. The murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. Whoa. Whoa. This is heavy. Well, tune in next time, guys, for more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, and Rise from the Ashes. This is getting super intense. Even like when things over, then it's not over. Oh my gosh. Stressful, but it's really exciting. Thanks for watching. Till the next time.